Yo, what's going on, man? Today is December the 22nd, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. I'm live on Twitter. I'm also live on YouTube as well. Do me a favor, as I always ask at the beginning of the show, hit the like button for me if you can. If you aren't subscribed already, definitely subscribe to the channel and turn the notification bell on if you guys know when I want to go live. It's definitely important around this time of the year, especially when we got, like weekend games, which I'm gonna try to do a couple weekend shows, just over the break, like maybe potentially do one tomorrow. And then of course, like for Christmas as well. So also the night show, I've been talking about the night show for a while, but the night show is definitely coming as well. So yeah, do all that stuff for me. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. All the the positive words, the community, the ChrisBeCappinn community, man, that we built over the last couple of years. I'm grateful for it. I appreciate you guys for it. Taking a small sip of water before we get started. Lastly, I want to say before we actually get into the card, because it is a nice card that we're gonna break down here in a second. Odds Jam, always talk about it, but I got to promo Odds Jam, man. 25% off using the code CBC. That's in the link below. If you guys are interested in, whatever the case might be, there's a lot of great stuff over there. But I use the sportsbook screen page throughout. It's always one of the tabs that's open on my computer. Just giving me the best odds. I'm getting lines that are less juiced. Long term, it's gonna make me a lot of profit. So if you're interested, definitely consider signing up using code CBC to get you 25% off your first month. Now that that's out the way, recap from yesterday. I know that I gave out a couple winners, but I didn't get a chance to. I always do the recap based on what I give to my members. And yesterday, I failed to give out the team total over for Oklahoma City Thunder. It cashed pretty easily, even with Jaden Ivey and Jaden McDaniels. With Jaden Ivey and Josh Giddey both getting hurt before halftime. That team total did cash. So it's not on the official recap. What you guys see is 1 and 2. The one winner was the Timberwolves minus the 4.5 that I gave out the night before. And then I'm not sure how many potential assists Tyus Jones had yesterday, but I saw a lot of clinks. Jordan Poole, Danny Avdia, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma. People just weren't making shots. So I actually didn't go heavy. It was a unit on his 6.5. I also sprinkled on his 8 and his 10 assists, thinking that he'd be able to keep it up. He was not. He instead turned into Steph Curry last night and couldn't miss a shot. He started like 3 for 3. Ended up with like 22 points, I want to say, in that game last night, or 19 points, something like that. So it was his points yesterday and not necessarily his assists. Super frustrating about that. So 1 and 2 day, we lose 2.35 units yesterday on the season, 137 and 108, which brings us down to 25.74 units on the season. Try to keep that updated all the time. If I can just do it every day, it'll make life a whole lot easier. But typically I do it every other day. So definitely looking forward to making a little bit, man. I feel like I've been kind of like a little rut. It's back-to-back losing days, losers in 3 of the last 4 days as well before having a really good Saturday. So hopefully we can get back on the right page. We haven't been losing a lot, but we have been losing. I feel like a big 4-0, 5-0, 3-0 type day is definitely coming where we can get a big, bunch of profit. So with no further ado, let's jump into it, man. First game up. Hold on, let's go to the comments real quick. So Prolific says, what up, Chris? He said, man, what a new merch at? We need a new ChrisBeCappinn tee. Man, my mama been asking me for t-shirts, man. I gotta get, I just don't have time right now. I still got some t-shirts. Like I still got the logo t-shirts, but I do need to get some new merch, man. I'll figure it out, Prolific, and have some on standby. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway as well. So I still got some hoodies. I still got some t-shirts. I still got some hats as well. So maybe I'll do a giveaway, with some cash or with some I was in the store earlier today and was looking at some gift cards, like some BetMGM or DraftKings gift cards, like little $50 gift cards or something like that. So we'll see. Appreciate you for tapping in, though, Prolific, as always. What's up, Stoney? Appreciate you for being here. Tasha says, greetings, everyone. For those who took Detroit, put them on the hell no list. I tweeted about this yesterday, man. Them boys just can't get right, man. They can't get right. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you for pulling up. S. Dot says first, not really, more like fifth. Appreciate you for being here as well, S. Dot. What's up, LJ? He says cash it Fridays. Let's get it. That's absolutely what we're here for. Big N, Navi as always. letting people know to subscribe and hit the like button for me. Appreciate you for shouting it out, Navi. Just Lock says, "What's up, Brody? 4-2 yesterday. Let's get it." I'm glad you had a better day than I did, Just Lock. And I had a lot of great looks. I just didn't end up getting to the window with all of them, and the ones that I did take weren't necessarily the cashes. What's up, Solo? He says, "What's going on, gang? Got my pen and paper out. Let's get it. We're going to jump right into it." What's up, Raptors fan? Got a shout out to the guys, man. He says, "What's good, Chris? Cashed on Zubac under 11.5 rebounds last night, sweat-free." I was thinking about that, Raptors fan. Somebody said it was you who shouted out Zubac. I wrote it down in my notes. Zubac under his rebounds in a spot where he was probably going to run out of gas. And then it was also somebody else mentioned DeRozan. Like, Chris, you're going back to DeRozan? Both of those cashed. DeRozan finished like 9 for 15, but he only had 21 points. So I'm pretty sure his points prop was sitting at over 22.5. I should have just rolled with the unders yesterday. So it is what it is, man. We'll get it back, though. What's up, Fremont? Appreciate you for being here as well. Go Young DJ said, "If you took Detroit, call the 1-800 number today." What's up, Levi? I appreciate you for being here as well. He says he had Utah on the money line last night. You made some money there, man. Slow-mo 761 says, "New to the channel. All the picks I choose from you hit, except Ja Morant triple-double. Definitely going to pay more attention and subscribe." Appreciate you, Slow-mo. Yeah, Ja didn't necessarily need a triple-double. Desmond Bane was hooping last night, and Jared Jackson Jr. helped him out as well. That's why I said, real small, man. It's okay to lose, 10th of a unit or 20th of a unit or a quarter of a unit. As long as you allocating your units appropriately, you can make those small sprinkles on those plays like that. So let's get into it for today, man. I got a couple looks. I put 4 plays in. I got a couple that I'm, kind of on the fence about and might end up going a little bit lighter on. So first game up, we got Raptors. We got 76ers. This game will be played in Philly. The line actually, when I capped this game last night, I stayed up to about 2 a.m. looking at these games and made my 4 official plays that I was going to make for today. So the line opened at 7.5. By the time I got to it last night, it was 8. And then I had it in my best slip to press the 8. And I was like, it'll probably go to 8.5. And now I'm seeing up to 9 on Caesars, even though it is some 8.5s out there. Total in this one did go up. This total hasn't moved since yesterday. It was at 228.5. It's up to 230. You guys see 230.5? Yeah, 230.5 is what I see right now as well. So I'll tell you what I like about this game. Injury-wise, Toronto just without Koloko. On Philly side, Robert Covington listed as probable. I think he did go through shoot-around. Batum is listed as out. I talked about his impact in the last game. It wasn't necessarily felt in the last game, but I think Batum being out could definitely hurt this team. I just don't know when it's going to. DeAnthony Milton also questionable with a thigh injury. He did not go through shoot-around. So all of those things are things to take into consideration when you're looking at Philly. Philly also has a game. They don't play again until Christmas, but they got to travel to Miami. So could be doing Christmas a little bit earlier. But how could you go with Toronto in this spot? To me, it's just, you're trying to catch a falling knife. Toronto's 3-8 straight up on the road, 5-6 against the number. First leg of a back-to-back as well. And they fly back home to host Utah tomorrow. So really, really bad travel spot. This is the first game for Toronto on the road after 4 straight home games. So you got 4 home games, 1 road game, and then you got to go back home. So not the greatest spot for them. Could be even worse spot for them tomorrow versus Utah as well, even though they do play better on the back-to-back. Philly, on the opposite side, this team's been red hot. Of course, they end up losing the game to Chicago to kind of cool them off the other day, but they bounced back with a big win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're 11-4 straight up at home and against the spread. And this is their 3rd straight home game. So typically not a spot you want to take them on. Head-to-head, Philly has beaten Toronto already twice this season. Both of those games were played with Toronto at the rest disadvantage. I remember saying that. I said, man, Philly keep catching Toronto in these really bad rest spots, even though one of those games I think was in Toronto. So you got Nick Nurse against his old team. You got his old team versus Nick Nurse as well. Toronto at the rest disadvantage in both of those games. So what I looked at was Philly when they're playing against, because remember, Philly just smashed a lot of these teams, that have these really, really bad records. So 7-1 straight up and against the spread playing at home versus a team with a 45% win percentage or less. So all of these bad teams, we got to remember, they just played Washington a couple times. They played Charlotte a couple times. They're 7-1 straight up and against the spread against those teams, including 5-2 to the over on their team total. So I initially looked team total over. I said, I don't think I'm going to get there. Toronto, 3-1 to the over on the road versus a team that has a winning record or better, including allowing each opponent to go over their team total. So to me, it seems like Philly team total. I know it did go up. I think it was at 118.5, went up to 119. The only reason I didn't get there is because I could see Philly winning this game and not having to score that many points. Toronto is a very inconsistent team. They're not a good they're not good at scoring the ball consistently. They'll have 1 or 2 quarters where they can kind of string it together and score 28, 29 points. But then, they're going to sprinkle in a 22-point, game in there as well. So I couldn't really get there because I feel like Philly could win this game without, them necessarily having to score a lot. One thing I did look at that also supports the under 230 was I looked at home favorites coming off a home game that has a line between 5 and 8. So they're needing to win by, multiple possessions, but not necessarily a double-digit game, right? They're also in this situation, what I looked at was their next rest is greater than their opponent's next rest because, like I said, Toronto got on the first leg of a back-to-back. Philly doesn't play again until Christmas. And they're playing a conference game. Since 2018, those games are 31, 19, and 1 to the under. So it's about 62% to the under. I know that was a big query, but to me, that I think the game could potentially go under. Like I said, I don't see Philly having to necessarily, play like a lot of defense in this spot. But the way I did chose to play this one was I played Philly in the first half. They've been absolutely killing in the first half. We talked about this earlier this week. I think it was a plus 17.3 net rating in the first half of games specifically. And I also like based off, Toronto coming off a 4-game homestand, Philly coming off a home game already. Plus how good Philly has been just against the spread in the first half. I want to say there's something like 7-3 to that number. We just cashed on Philly in the first half, minus 1.5 against Minnesota. Of course, that was off a loss, but I think Philly in the first half is still a good spot in this one as well. So I played them last night, minus the 4.5. I'm not even sure what the best number is right now, but with the spread moving to 9, this number could be up to 5 now. Let me just check it real quick and see what I can find for you guys. But minus 111, I think is what I played it on Sports Illustrated last night because they are one of the books. Them and ESPN Bet. ESPN Bet always has a worse number, but those are at least in Virginia the odds that I can get. So Philly first half, it is still 4.5. It is still playable. Bet Rivers has a minus 113 right now, and it's not super juiced anywhere else either. So if people want to ride with me there. Didn't really look at any props in this game. I do think that, Philly, especially if Melton doesn't play, you're already without Batum. So it could be some value, for guys like Kelly Oubre Jr. in this spot specifically. So that's the way I would chose to play. I played Philly first half, but those are my other thoughts on this game as well. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat, and then we'll go to the next game. So let's see what we got. We got Go GJ says he was the guy who mentioned DeRozan. Yeah, good look. I hope you played it. Go Young DJ, because I said it was a good spot, but I don't necessarily I'm not going to just say, oh, yeah, that sounds good and then play it. I want to do a little bit more research, and I didn't get a chance to do so after because we did run a little long on the show yesterday, and I had some things I needed to do before the game started. Real Stoney says Morant first quarter points was free versus the Pacers. Yeah, he came out with a vengeance yesterday. That was something that we should have probably paid a little more attention to. I failed on that team total to go over just because they didn't need to. They locked up the Pacers, and the Pacers kind of ran out of gas. Probably something I should have paid a little bit more attention to. Navi says Embiid dropping 40. I couldn't talk you off of that. He could easily get Jakob Poeltl in foul trouble. But people who've been watching Embiid, man, this dude is he's next level. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about him, but I know a lot of people say he draw fouls, and but he's just so good and so big and so dominant that he can literally get to wherever he wants to on the floor. He literally can grab the rebound, push it all the way up the floor, come up and make your center sag off so he doesn't blow by him and get to the rim and just pull up and shoot a jump shot. And his jump shots be cash. They don't even be touching nothing. He'll pump fake you 3 or 4 times and just shoot wherever he wants to. Dude is absolutely prolific at scoring the basketball. Fremont says Hawks flying tonight, then Grizzlies catch them tomorrow coming off and then rob them. I agree with that, Fremont. I don't know if the Hawks gonna win tonight, but I could see it. I do think they're getting smoked tomorrow against the Grizzlies, though. I'm waiting to see what that line is. That was something I was already looking towards. What's up, David? Appreciate you for being here, tapping in. He says, let's get to the bag. Absolutely. Just Locke says, yeah, Toronto has no consistent scores. They are up and down, man. Jekyll and Hyde team for sure. Estai says 76ers need to win here since they will lose on Monday. So he's already forecasting the Miami Heat to beat the 76ers on Christmas. Steve says Nuggets and Sixers for full first quarter money line parlay. He likes that. Go Young DJ says, I like the guards in Philly. Been terrible lately. Tobias, Maxey, and Oubre. It's been all Embiid. I agree. I definitely agree with that, Young DJ. They got to get a more balanced attack. Embiid can't get you 50 this early in the season every single game. That's not going to bode well later in the season when, you know, you just don't want to develop that to be your identity. So I agree with that. Nintel says his best bet is Raptors +8. Nintel, if you didn't bet it already, you can get an 8.5. You can get a +9 on Caesars too, if you like that number a little bit better. Slow-mo says Milton being questionable means less defense for the guards of Toronto. I agree. Dante says Sixers first half team total. Raptors bottom 10 defensively rated last 5 in the first half. Sixers top 10 in the same span. I could see that as well. I'm not sure what that first half team total over is, but it makes sense. Go DJ says you gave the stats on the show that DeRozan is like 0 for 100 at scoring 25 in the back-to-back. I don't think it was that bad, Go DJ, but I probably should at least put a sprinkle on it. Estai says Miami Heat 8-0 on Christmas. Ooh, I don't think I knew that. Ski Roy says Raptors getting crushed. Just watch. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think that they could potentially get blown out in this spot, but I'm not extremely confident on it. It is a double revenge spot, so just kind of keep that in mind. The Raptors always surprise us too when we don't expect them to, because the last time I bet against the Raptors, as you guys remember, it was in the spots where they were in the second leg of a back-to-back and playing the Suns, and they took my money, a lot of my money that night as well. All right, so next game up. Let's go Nuggets. Let's go Nets. This game will be played in Brooklyn, of course. The Nuggets are on the second game of a 3-game road trip. They actually have Charlotte tomorrow, so this is the first leg of a back-to-back for them. I talked about this the other day. The Nuggets, they're 6-10 against the spread on the road and only 8-8 straight up, but they are 2-0 straight up and against the spread in their last 2 versus Dallas and versus Toronto. I said it won't. You know, I question the motivation of championship teams, championship hangover teams, but Denver plays hard. I think the reason why they were losing, in my estimation, was because they weren't healthy. So I should have got on them in the last game against Toronto. The line was kind of moving down, and I kind of let that be a part of my handicap. Plus, it wasn't one of my favorite plays, but when Denver has full strength, like, they can really come in and mop you up. Brooklyn has absolutely been terrible. 17-9-1 against the spread on the season, which still is one of the best ATS records. 10-3-1 against the spread as the crib, but 4 straight losses and 4 straight non-covers. This is also the second game back home for them, and they host Toronto. I'm sorry, they host Detroit tomorrow. So definitely don't want to get Detroit their first loss tomorrow, but kind of hard to look ahead to tomorrow when you lost 4 straight games in a row and you failed to cover any of them. I'm not sure what's going on with this team. We just bet Brooklyn the other day. We lost with them because we bet the total over against the Knicks, and they just couldn't score the ball. The defense has been bad. They haven't been able to score. I think the Nuggets can still get this one done as well. I don't necessarily want to lay the 4.5. And just in all transparency, I didn't lay the 4.5. But I do think if Denver, as long as nobody get thrown out for Denver, because they got a way of getting ejected in these road games. And I'm also, just questioning the motivation. I don't know how motivated they're going to be in this spot. Brooklyn should be motivated, but I'll say this: if I catch Denver live minus 1.5, or potentially can get them on the money line, that's probably going to be the play that I make in this one. The way that I did choose to play this one was I played Jokic, super square play. I see a lot of people on it now, but last night I gave this out when the line was minus 105 on ESPN Bet. His rebounds, and it's just one of those things you ride with or you don't. And I'm riding with Jokic. Barbecue chicken, Nicholas Claxton, as far as the rebounds go. 12.5 was the number. Jokic has 4. This is something I just remember off the top of my head: 14, 17, and 20. I did look it up to confirm, but those were his rebounds. And of course, if you think about the way Brooklyn's been shooting the ball recently, they're not making a lot. So I do expect Jokic to be able to clear his rebounds prop in this game. I also wrote in my notes that I need to read up on Brooklyn. I need to see what Coach Jacques Vaughn is saying about the way that they've been playing and how the players want to respond. Like, have we gotten anything from any of the players? Like, I haven't really been following Brooklyn on social media as far as like checking their beat writers and stuff like that. But all 4 straight losses, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, just 2 weeks ago, it does kind of feel like this team is slipping. So that's the way I chose to play this one. I stayed away from the spread. Like I said, I might look towards Denver live if I can get them, maybe a little bit less. But that's the way I chose to play this one. Let's see what you guys are on in the chat. Let's go to the chat real quick. Try to go through. Not gonna get to everybody, but try to get through some comments real quick. Vaughn says wanted to get there with Siakam, but he didn't play well versus 76ers in any matchup last season. I think it was the year before that Siakam killed them in the playoffs when they had Harden. I think that was the first year. Yeah, I want to say it was the first year. Remember, Siakam was a problem and actually forced them to I think it was game 5. I think you want to say he averaged like 30 in that spot. But also, you got to think about it, right? Like, if we're just being logical, Nick Nurse being the coach, he got the game plan for how to slow this team down. Like, he was the coach there for forever. So it makes sense that, they kind of struggle. Like, he knows all of their weaknesses. He, send him right, send him left, make him do this, force him that way. These are the plays they're going, you know what I mean? Like, so it kind of makes sense. Ski Roy says Nets got to win. I don't know if they can win this one, but crazier things have happened in the NBA. D Trips likes Embiid over his points. Steve says Nurse is going to make sure the Raptors get handled every time they meet. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Definitely some bad blood there. 3-time likes Maxey over his points. That could absolutely cash tonight. Maxey has been his threes have been money too. Maxey just shooting the ball really, really well. A lot of confidence. And I'm not sure what the line is because I haven't really been playing Maxey props, but I can see this as well. Vaughn says, I wonder if the Raptors will double Embiid. I would have to go back and look at that, Vaughn. I was interested, and not to take too long. I didn't really I dove into this game, but I didn't deep. One of the angles I wanted to look at was both of those games that the Raptors played the 76ers earlier this season. The total was like 214.5. This total was all the way up to 230. I don't know if Embiid missed one of those games or what the case might have been, but see the total move. I know that game was over a month ago, but to see the total move 15 points to me feels I don't know. I think that's too much of a move. Ski says no, I'm tripping. Brooklyn tanking. Do you agree, Chris? I don't think they're tanking, man. I don't think Jacques Vaughn's the type of team that type of coach that would tank. I think they just got hot and now they're starting to cool off a little bit. Whatever goes up must come down. And I feel like that's what Brooklyn did. Same thing with Orlando. Orlando did the same thing, and now they're coming back down to earth as well. So I wouldn't say that they're tanking. I think it's a little too early for them to tank, especially given that if the playoffs start today, they'd be in. So I don't necessarily agree with that. Vaughn says Embiid did have 7 and 8 assists in the 2 previous matchups this year. That might be a good look, Vaughn, especially if they're going to double. One single player can't guard Embiid. It don't matter what team it is either, honestly. We just saw what he did to Rudy Gobert, who's probably the best defender. He ate up Anthony Davis in that game where they beat us by like 40 about 3 weeks ago as well. So, yeah, you might just have to double Embiid and let everybody else get off. But it really just depends on the coach. I'm not sure what he's going to do in this spot. Dante says Nets team total under 57.5 first half. Nuggets, number 2 defensive rated team, last 5 in the first half. You got some numbers behind Dante. Couldn't talk you off. He says Nets bottom 10 in offense, bottom 10 in that same span. Yeah, I could definitely see it. Dominic likes the Nuggets in the first half specifically. Could not talk you off. Nuggets have been a really good first half team, whether they're on the road or at home. Paul Millsap says, Chris, I am glad I tuned in at a rather decent pace. Your perspective, viewpoints, and talking points seem highly conservative as well. Thought out, congrats on all the info. Throughout, I think is what he meant. Congrats on all the info shared. It feels very informative. All I'm trying to do is help you make an informed decision, Paul. You don't got to take the plays I make. A lot of the times I come on here and talk about plays I don't make that I probably should make, and they be the ones that end up cashing. So I'm just trying to share insight. That's how I got started. That's what I was doing. I was breaking down, games and on Twitter, and it's 5 people in there listening to me, and it's grown to what it is now. But I just like doing my homework and trying to make bets, and I'm profitable, but it's a lot of other sharp guys that look at games differently, and looking at player props and a lot of other angles, because we're not all gonna cap every single market the same. So we also not gonna get to every market, not enough hours in the day. Just Locke says Brooklyn has hella shooting guards on the floor with no true point guard on the floor. Dinwiddie isn't a point guard. He's a shooting guard, playing point guard. That's the problem. Nuggets minus 4.5. Okay. I couldn't talk you off, Just Locke. Best of luck, man. Steve says Portal under is a good look. He will be in foul trouble tonight. He absolutely could be, Steve. I actually wrote this one down in my brain. Didn't quite get it to the paper, but yeah, looking at Jakob Poeltl. Matter of fact, let me write that down real quick. Actually put it on the paper so I can get it out of my brain. Jakob Poeltl unders. Got to figure out, a way to play him, but I could absolutely see it. If they have success in this spot, I don't think it's going to be because Jakob Poeltl was out there, giving Embiid the business at all. Easy Money says, what's good, family? Happy holidays to you and yours. Glad you're feeling better. Appreciate you, Easy Money. Absolutely appreciate that, man. Navi likes Embiid rebounds up to 16. LA says Denver first quarter, minus 105. I could not talk you off. They've been a really good first quarter. We know Jokic's going to play the whole first quarter. Jamal Murray typically been playing the whole first quarter. Could not talk you off. Tasha also likes that first quarter. LJ, another first quarter. He says Denver first quarter ATS last 5 on the road. Number 2, first quarter point margin, I think is what he means. He said take Denver early. Yeah, they typically start to let up in the third quarter, so I could definitely see that as well. Could definitely see that, LJ. Best of luck to everybody on Denver in the first quarter, man. Sounds like a lot of love on that. D-Trip says on them rebounds and took the triple-double at plus 145, talking about Jokic in this spot. Fremont says Nets in the first quarter. So we got some disagreement there. Dwight says he also played Jokic on his rebounds. And Denver's actually coming down to 4. I see it touching 4 right now. So, yeah, money coming in on Brooklyn in this spot. Let's see. Myron says Day'Ron Sharp, 10-plus rebounds at plus 1,000 on DraftKings is interesting. He had 13 against Denver in the last game. So he had 13 in that game. We got to remember, Myron, that game was on the second leg of a back-to-back. They had just beat Phoenix, and they got blown out. They were down by 13 at halftime. I think Denver went up by as much as like 20. So this is a revenge spot as well. And we could see a little bit more Nicholas Claxton in that spot. I remember Dream talking about Nicholas Claxton playing good against Jokic in the previous matchups. And I want to say he probably didn't cash in that game because of the blowout. So, spots do matter. Spots definitely do matter. So I don't know. I mean, I couldn't talk you off. Maybe worth a sprinkle, plus, especially at plus 1,000, but not sure how many minutes he's going to get in this spot unless Nicholas Claxton gets in foul trouble. Navi says Porter Jr. 8 rebounds could be a good look as well. Yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job rebounding the ball this season. Vaughn says he likes Mikal Bridges threes tonight. Been shooting over 50% from 3 the last 15 and taking 7 threes per game at home, coming off a horrible shooting night versus the Knicks. He actually was the reason why we didn't cash the other night. I think he shot 3 for 18, Vaughn, and that killed the over. We had 233 in that game, man. Killed the over, but it is what it is. JS says Jokic triple-double and the win is loading. Okay. All right, man. Y'all blowing the comments up, man. I got to get back to the games. Let's see, real quick. One more. Easy Money says Jamal Murray, 20 points, hit 5 of his last 7 on the road and 4 of his last 5 games in Nets Arena to this number. So he, for some reason, likes to play here. He said he drunk the juice at minus 135. Best of luck, Easy Money. I hope you cash, man. My guy Cam says riding with Scotty tonight, and that's the only look he likes in that game. Let's see. Johnny says, gents, gotta mention the young ladies in the chat as well, Johnny. He says, gents, get them likes up, man. Chris, them Grizzlies, Pacers, no defense. Hate we didn't cash the over, but we will today. Yeah, no, absolutely. We definitely will. Let's see. One more. Jabari says, I'm on the Nuggets first half and full game money line at minus 110. That could be a good way to play it. I know. Shout out to Dream once again. I know Dream plays a lot of those first quarter, first half. And shout out to my guy Cam, man. 25 pounds donated. Canadian cash. He says, Merry Christmas, my guy. In case we don't chat before then, enjoy the fam. Put this on a Raptors bet. Nah, Cam. You give me $25, well, $25. What is it? 25 pounds is like $26 and some change. I think $27. Yeah. Nah, definitely not putting it on the Raptors, my guy. Appreciate you though. I can't do that. Let's get back into the games, man. Appreciate you, Cam. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Hope you guys find more winners than you find losers tonight. Let's go Mavs. Let's go Rockets. This is a game that I got a couple plays in that I kind of like. I kind of like a lot. So yesterday, for people who was watching the show, you remember we talked about this, and I talked about taking the Mavs, taking the Rockets live yesterday, and I couldn't, like, all the books was locking it up. This news broke that Luka wasn't going to play while we were doing the show yesterday, and that line was at 2.5. And the only reason I didn't grab it was because, of course, I was doing the show live, and I didn't want to put you guys on standby. But yeah, in this one, Luka won't be there. Derek Lively won't be in. Dante Exum also got ruled out. Seth Curry, I'm not sure if he went through. Seth Curry, I'm not sure if he went through shoot around or not, but he's listed as questionable. On the Houston side, I saw Tari Eason listed as Robert Covington just got ruled in with the illness, says he'll play. We got Halliburton and Zion listed as questionable for tomorrow. I might do a night show tonight, but we'll see. All right, going back to this game. So Dallas, 9-5 straight up and against the spread on the road. First leg of a back-to-back. They do host San Antonio tomorrow, but none of that really matters without Luka, in my opinion, right? Because you also don't got Kyrie. You also don't got Lively in this spot. Houston, this number went all the way from 2.5 when we were live on the show yesterday, all the way up to 8.5. Now you see it actually touched 9. Now I think it come back down to 8.5. Total goes from 232.5 to 223. So this total came down a lot. And that's the way I chose to play this one. I'm looking at Houston, right? We know that this team is 11-2 straight up. The 10-2-1 against the spread on at home. Second game back home, which I said this the other day, right? If you got your pen and paper out, might want to write this down. Something I'm kind of keeping in my brain. Houston returning back home is not Houston being at the crib, right? We've taken Houston twice coming back home off. I don't even know if they're coming off a loss or not, but they don't play as well in that first game back. It seems like they need to kind of settle in, and I'm pretty sure I could pull the numbers up to support that. So this is the second game back home. We took them in the first half because they were coming off a second game in the third game in 4 nights the other day, and they were coming off an overtime game. Thought that they would get it done in the first half, but kind of fade out in the second half. They did. They got smoked in the first half, had a really strong third quarter, and then got blown out again in the fourth quarter because they just couldn't stop Atlanta from making threes. Like everybody was making threes. It was raining threes in there. So what do we do with them in this spot? First leg of back-to-back. They do play in New Orleans tomorrow. They did fail to win or cover their last 3 games, and that's one of the reasons why I like them in this spot. We've seen teams have letdowns, right? Like especially when the opposite guys ruled out. Of course, no Luka. You got a game tomorrow. It could be easy to kind of overlook this team. I don't think that this team does in this spot, though. Houston also a revenge game for them as well. They lost 121-115 in Dallas on November the 28th. If you guys remember, especially for my members, and if you watch the show in general, I was on Houston in this spot. Probably the most brutal loss I had all season. We took them plus 4.5. Luka literally got fouled with a couple tenths of a seconds left. He go to the free throw line, hit 2 free throws. They lose the game by 6. We had them plus 4.5, and they were only losing by 4. I absolutely do not like that spot. I absolutely remember that. Like that was probably one of the worst losses I had. It makes me sick to my stomach even thinking about it. But anyway, this also is a 6 game in 10 days. And this is something that I'm starting to track a little bit more for Houston. One of the reasons why I don't necessarily like the spot as much for Houston. I'm not laying the points with them, but I do think the under is in play. So I gave this out yesterday at 228.5. This line actually was at 230 last night as well. By the time I did the write-up and sent it out, it had already moved. So in games without Luka this season, it's only been 1 game that the Mavs played without Luka. They actually lost 108-94 to the Grizzlies. And I think the Grizzlies and that Grizzlies team that didn't have Ja Morant, of course, is very similar to Houston. I'm thinking about teams that rely a lot on their defense, and that's what Memphis had to do. And I'm also thinking about teams that play pretty slow. And Houston, the Grizzlies were also a team that played pretty slow. Also, both of these teams on the first leg of a back-to-back. So another angle that I looked at was 2 divisional opponents playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. Since 2016, those games are actually 50, 38, and 5 to the under. So that's about 57%, 56.8%. I played the under in this game at 228.5. It's down to 223 now. So a lot of value being lost. But it just kind of made sense. I also played Dallas team total under 109.5. Actually, it was pretty interesting that this number was still, like this high. I just don't think, unless Houston completely overlooks this team, I don't think it's enough scoring out there for Dallas to be able to score the ball. I mean, yeah, they got Grant Williams. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. They like to get up and down the floor. You still got Hardy out there. But I just think that Houston is a really good defensive team. I love that they're all 3 losses. If Houston wasn't all 3 losses, I probably wouldn't touch them in this spot. But I love that they're all 3 losses in this spot. So I want to back their defense in this spot. I want to back their slow pace in this spot. So that's the way I chose to play this one. Team total for Houston would probably be the best look right now. If I had to give you guys anything to play in this one specifically. Also, remember, first leg of back-to-back, if this game just out of hand, one of those players that have a very inflated number could potentially go under on the Dallas side, because this is a game where they're on the first leg of a back-to-back, and this game could really get out of hand. So team total right now for Dallas is 107.5. So the line actually hasn't moved but 2 points. 107.5. We got to remember, Houston winning the games at home by about 10 points. And while they didn't cover the last couple, I think that they get back to form in this spot. So those are two ways I chose to play this one. The under 228.5 is gone. I gave that number out at 2 o'clock this morning. And the team total still only dropped 2 points. I think even though Derek Lively is out, Houston is not the greatest offensive team. So they still could potentially struggle to score in this spot, even though Dallas been really giving it up without Lively. I think you got to rely a little bit more on your defense in this spot without having Luka. So long-winded way of saying take the under. Well, I took the under at 228.5, and I would still play Dallas team total to go under. 26 comments. Let me see what you guys are on real quick in the chat. Try to just get through these really, really quickly. Sid, what's going on, my guy? I appreciate you for tapping in, man. I haven't heard from you in a while. Blessings to you as well, my brother. Happy holidays. And excuse me, happy holidays to you and yours, Sid. What's up, Big Mar? Hey, Steve, I definitely butchered that. I said Canadian. I said pounds. This is not European money. This is not London. My fault. Canadian dollars. I deal with pounds as well. CAD is definitely Canadian dollars. My fault. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, man. I'm always learning. I know I'm making mistakes as I go, but appreciate you for correcting me there, Steve. Vaughn says going to take a look at Oubre with no Batum tonight. Should be more run and possibly no Milton. I absolutely agree there, Vaughn. I made this point a little bit earlier. Not sure if you was locked in or not, but yeah, I did mention that earlier. Estott likes the Rockets in the trifecta spot. He says Luka loves the weekends. Yeah, Luka just had a little girl too, man. He's probably chilling with his little girl. Luka also, man, dude's a robot. I always talk about him getting hit in the head and the face. And lip was bleeding in the Denver game. If anybody watched that one, he's always getting, falling on the ground. Like, Luka deserves a night off. I definitely think Luka deserves a night off. Let's see. Jarrell says taking 76 minus 4.5, Nuggets minus half a point, and Suns plus 7.5. He's putting $150 on it to win 104. Best of luck to you, Jarrell. I hope you cash that. Raptors fans like Sengun over his 19.5 points. Smash spot for him, in my opinion. I agree with this thought process, Raptors fan. If I had to play one more player prop today, it probably would be Sengun. I do think Sengun should absolutely eat. They don't have a real center out there no more. Without Lively out there. So Sengun rebound should be in play as well. I think it's a really good spot for Sengun tonight. Real Stoney says, as soon as someone who works third shift, please consider a night show. I got you, Stoney. I got you, man. I'm gonna get there. LJ says Raptors first half minus 4.5. Jabari Smith Jr. over 24.5 points, rebounds, plus assists. Dallas allows the most points to power forwards. I could see it being a really good game for him as well. LJ, you got to hit me. We got to talk in the DMs, man. What's going on with Jalen Green, man? Dude is almost non-existent. I know it's for the betterment of the team, but like, what's going on out there, LJ? Let me know what's going on, man. I know you got a much closer feel for the team being in Houston, and you always at the games. Let me know what's going on with Jalen Green, man. I like Jalen Green a lot, and I saw him working out in the offseason. Thought he would have a, potentially a career type year. Thought his points would go up, but his points probably been to like 16.5. All right, let's see. Vaughn says only looking at Jaden Hardy for Mavs. No Kyrie, no Luka. Hella opportunity. Agree there. Just Lock says kind of same situation with the Pelicans versus the Cavs last night. No point guard on the floor leads to stagnant offense. Rockets in need of a win tonight. Rockets are a top defensive team as well. Missed the 2.5, but still, yeah, I agree. He says, but still would play to 8. First half minus 4.5. The first half does feel good. I feel like, off of 3 straight losses, first half probably feels a little bit better. Rockets have been known to kind of give up some leads in the second half when I've been watching the game specifically. When you're not a good 3-point shooting team like the Rockets aren't, it can be difficult to cover a full game. So I would agree with those sentiments. Let's see. Sid says, I was on the Mavs side of this game. My Christmas present. Okay. What's up, Munov? He says, what's up to the chat as well. Appreciate you for dropping in, Munov. Munov likes Fred VanVleet over his 9.5 assists. He's coming off a game where he had 14 assists. That was against a fast-paced Atlanta team, but he should have the ball in his hands a lot. Could not talk you off, Munov. I know we also talked about this the other day and something that you cashed on. Fred VanVleet been killing the assists, so could not talk you off. He also had like 17 assists, I think, against Cleveland the other day, so could not talk you off. Vaughn, the other Vaughn says full game under, like you said, Chris, probably better. But Mavs team total under 108. Rockets have only allowed over 108 in 2 home games, one of them being the Hawks that you mentioned. Yeah, I agree. I just thought the total was a little high. Maybe the books know something I don't know. I'm prepared to lose in that spot. Jeremiah says coming in late, but I hope no one bet the Pistons last night. Plus money against the Pistons. That's free money. So he made some money last night with the Jazz. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna try to cipher through some of these. I appreciate everybody for going through these. I just don't want to spend too much time on these on one game. Sid also likes the Jabari Smith look. Oh, Munoz says, Munoz, you got some thoughts on Rockets too. You down there? Munoz says time to move on from Jalen Green. Oh man, I do not like that, man. I like Jalen Green a lot. Tell me why, Munoz. I like Jalen Green, man. That's my guy. I like Jalen Green. Outside of that, that questionable stuff he was doing, I like Jalen Green as a basketball player. LA says like button is the upper left hand corner. Hit it. Hey, appreciate that, LA. Appreciate that for sure. Let's keep going. We got a couple more games to get through. We got Hawks, we got Heat. Two teams that you guys don't ever hear me say, man, I can't wait to bet the Hawks tonight. And you definitely also don't hear me say, I can't wait to bet the Heat tonight either. This line did open at 1 in favor of the Miami Heat. It's actually it moved up in their favor up to 1.5. Now money coming back in on Atlanta is back down to 1. Total did move up just a tad bit. It opened at 237.5 up to 238, 238.5 on some books as well. Difficult game to cap, man. Not gonna be honest with. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Don't really love this game a lot. I do think it's a live betting spot for Atlanta. They don't really have any injuries outside of any new injuries. Jalen Johnson, of course, won't be with the team. Adrian Griffin, I think, also remains out. For Miami, Kevin Love is back. He was listed as probable with an illness. Jimmy Butler, of course, is out. Atlanta 8-8 on the road, but just 6-9 against the spread, coming off that big win against the Houston Rockets as a dog the other day. Miami 7-6 straight up, but just 3-10 against the spread at home. So typically you want to fade Miami at home. For some reason they play better on the road. I'm not 100% sure why. For Atlanta, first leg of a back-to-back. They do host Memphis tomorrow. 6 game in 10 days for them here, which is why I kind of lean towards Miami. I think this could be a spot where Atlanta kind of runs out of gas, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were able to string together 2 wins. Miami is a really bad 3-point defensive team, and that's what Atlanta wants to do. They want to get out. They want to shoot threes. So maybe you look towards some Bogdanovich props. This dude's absolutely been on fire, kind of killing it. I know he missed 1 game. He went off the game before, came back, and went off again. First leg of a back-to-back. Like I said, they host Memphis tomorrow, 6 game in 10 days, and they've been in 11 different arenas. Shout out to Jay Money. He didn't mention this on his show today because I did tune in to Jay's show, but something that he tracks a lot and something that I'm trying to, be a little bit more conscious of is how are these teams moving? For Atlanta, not the greatest spot, man. Like I said, 11 different gyms. They have literally not played back-to-back home games since, honestly, I'm not sure when. So I don't like the spot for Atlanta in this spot. This is another road game, and then they go back home tomorrow. Absolutely get smoked tomorrow, but I think they could get smoked here in this spot as well. I just don't want to take Miami because, like I said, 3-10 at the crib, and the point spread says that they need to win the game. So for Miami, also not the greatest spot. 6 game in 10 nights as well. Coming off a win as a road dog. So both of these teams coming off a win as a road dog. They actually beat the Orlando Magic by double digits, and I want to say it was by double digits, and they were 5-point dogs in that game. They don't have another game until they host Philly on Christmas, but they also 4-11 against the spread versus teams with a 40% win percentage or less. So Miami's been playing good against the better competition, but struggling against the bottom competition. The one thing I will note about this game specifically, though, I looked at divisional, right? Because Atlanta and Miami in the same division. Of course, Orlando's in there, and I forgot the other team, but it's a couple teams in the division. The Wizards are in this division, and everybody's beating them, but outside of Portland. But this is one thing for Miami. They are 6-0 straight up against the division this season. I'm not sure if that's something that, Eric Spoelstra is kind of like preaching to the guys, but they have not lost a divisional game so far this season. Head-to-head, revenge game for Atlanta. They did lose by 7.5 point home favorites in Atlanta on November 11th. You see Miami get super hot. I think that was a game that Bam didn't play, and I want to say Jimmy didn't play in that game either, and they absolutely killed in that spot. One way I was looking at potentially playing this game was the first half over. Miami, if we talk about Miami getting out to these big leads, but then they can't hold on to them. They're averaging 61 first half points. We know that Atlanta's going to do their share scoring as well. And that's 61 points in the first half in 5 games without Jimmy Butler this season. That's a lot of points. I feel like the first half, I'm not even sure what the total number is, but this was just something that I wrote down in my notes. So I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I do think that even if this game goes up and over the total, I think the scoring will come in the first half specifically. So I think we'll see scoring in the first half, and then Miami typically tends to run out of gas and slow down in the second half. I like the first half over in this spot. Let's see real quick what the number is. First half over for total points is 121.5. I think that is doable, man. I know it's higher than if you take the 2 and divide it, then it should be about 119.5. But I think that they could go over this number, man. I think we see points early in this spot, especially against two teams that shoot the 3 well and two teams that can't really defend the 3. Yeah, that's the way I would chose to play this one. No official plays from me at all. Just kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts. Let's go back to the chat, see what you guys are liking here. Let's see. Stoneface Hunter says because Jalen Green isn't good at basketball. I think I disagree, man. I like Jalen Green. I think he is good at basketball. He's still got some growing to do. He's still super young as well. S-Dot says, Chris, you know what to do. S-Dot on his heat tonight, man. He says Atlanta 2-8 last 10. BC says Heat -1.5 and the under. Yeah, I think the total is appropriate. I can see it going over. I can see it going a tad bit under. Real Stoney likes Hero. 3 threes, 4 rebounds. Could not talk anybody off Hero. He should have to score the ball a little bit more. I think his points prop was 22.5, 23.5. Would not surprise me if Hero scores 25 to 30 points tonight. Just not something that I played. What else? S-Dot, 3 units, Miami Heat, discount play. Okay. S-Dot likes him a lot. What do you think of Tyler Hero over his points? I just talked about that, Shadow. I think he could go over. S-Dot also says Heat is the most efficient offense in 3-point shooting team. Miami is trying to build chemistry. I could see it. I could definitely see it, S-Dot. Ski Roy says Hawks money line, simple. Okay, so we got some disagreement, as the spread kind of indicates on this one. S-Dot also says he took Hero over his points, rebounds, and assists. He says that's been cashing with ease. That would be another player prop that I would add if I had to add anything. Hero will have the ball in his hands a lot, especially without Jimmy Butler being there. It doesn't feel like, because Hero is just coming back, it doesn't feel like the lines are really caught up. So I could definitely see that. Dominique says Heat money line for him. Can't take Miami. Can't take Miami against the spread in Miami. And I'm sure I'm not taking the Hawks. So can't take Miami against the spread in Miami. And for sure, I'm not taking the Hawks. So how did you take the Heat money line? I'm confused, Dominique. That's confusing. Maybe it's a lean. I'm not sure. LJ says Trae Young is 10-1 to a double-double on the road. -189 reason why it's so juice, but the 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists, better look. He hit that number every road game in December. So yeah, Trae has been absolutely killing, man. 30 and 15 and 25 and 12. And yeah, he's been cooking for sure. Couldn't talk anybody off of that look. Steve says, I want to know how many times star players sit out for a team and they end up winning anyways. I want to know that number as well. I can tell you the number for Jimmy Butler, but I'm not sure what it is for all the other guys. And I probably could look it up. Just need a little time. Vaughn says 2 or more inconsistent teams gave out Hero rebounds and assists at 10.5. Last game, 8 rebounds and 7 assists with no Jimmy Butler. I could see that as well. Fast-paced game as well. Yeah, should be a lot of Tyler Hero love tonight. I could definitely see it. Raptors fan says I like band points. However you get them versus Clint Capella. Could definitely see that. YBB in the chat today. He says Raptors money line. I just came back from the future. Okay. So we got an upset brewing in Philly tonight, he says. As long as they win on the money line in the second half and Philly wins the first half, I'm totally fine with that. YBB, best of luck to you tonight, my brother. Happy holidays to you and the fam as well, YBB. We haven't had the chance to catch up in a while, but appreciate you for tuning in. Memphis open -1 against Atlanta tomorrow. That is what I need to write down. I already talked about liking Memphis tomorrow. But seeing them at 1.5, seeing them at 1, I appreciate you for shouting that out. Okay. Memphis tomorrow, 1.5. I mean, just 1. I'm gonna write that down because I was hoping that the line would drop. I hadn't seen it drop yet. Fremont's like the Hawks first quarter, first half. Savage says Trae Young chasing Oscar Robertson 30-point, 10 assists record, plus 188 on FanDuel is what he likes. So 30 and 20 for Trae Young tonight. YBB says they cover at least 65% of the time since 2020 when, quote, star players sit. So YBB does have the numbers for that. Appreciate you for sharing that, YBB. And Navi says, can't trust my Raptors, man. This game can go either way. Yeah, I could. Yeah, it's a toss-up for sure. All right, we got a couple more games to get through. Like I said, I always appreciate everybody for tapping in, dropping the comments, their best bets, and all the likes and love. We got Suns and Kings. I'm 100% sure not to do with this game either. I will tell you guys this. I got a couple interesting thoughts. So the Kings open as, just breaking the game down first and foremost, Kings open as 2.5-point favorites. The line is up to 3.5. It was at 3 last night. The total opened at 245. It's actually come down to 243.5. I saw it come all the way down to 243, and it's still at 243 at some books. I think that this game could sneakily go under, man. I really, really do. And I tell you guys, the problem why I didn't play it is because Nurkic just rolled out. Like, he's out for personal reasons. You also got Josh Okogie. I'm not sure if he's going to play. He's listed as questionable. Monk, since the show has started, says he is going to play for sure. And JaVale McGee also came up on an injury report, listed as questionable with a wrist injury. So Phoenix has absolutely looked terrible. They're 1-9 against the spread in their last 10, including 4 straight non-covers. They were actually favorites in all 4 of those games. And now you get them as a dog for the first time since they actually won outright against the Warriors when they were a dog a couple weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. They actually don't play again until they host Dallas on Christmas. Gotta want to get that bad taste out your mouth if you're Phoenix. But on the opposite side, Sacramento in the same spot. We just took the Kings plus 1.5, thinking we was going to get the best of the number. Well, we did get the best of the number. And they got smoked by Boston. This Phoenix team is no Boston, though. I'll tell you that. And that's why I kind of lean towards Sacramento. They are 10-4 straight up at home. But just 7-7 against the spread, 10-2 to the over at home. So that talked me off going, on the under. This is also the first leg of a back-to-back, 5th straight home game for them. And they host Minnesota, and they have Minnesota tomorrow. I think that game is on the road. So to me, this does kind of make me lean a little bit more towards Sacramento. I just feel like they got a little bit more right now. Outside of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, it's been a lot of inconsistencies for that Phoenix team, man. They've looked really, really bad. They were 7.5-point favorites against Portland and lost that game outright the other day. Head-to-head, Sacramento is 3-0 straight up and against the spread in the last 3 meetings, including one of those games that were played December 8th when they won 114-106. That was a game that I think Devin Booker did not play, or Kevin Durant didn't play, and Devin Booker did play. Kevin Durant didn't play. Devin Booker did play. So I'm not sure what to do with this game, man. I think, I'm looking at Phoenix, and this is what I wrote down for the under. So Phoenix is 3-0 to the under on their 3 highest totals of the season as dogs. They're also 5-3 to the under on the season as a dog in general, 7-1 to the under in road games if the total is greater than 220 or higher, excluding one overtime game. If Okogie comes back, both teams off really, really bad losses. You got the Kings, who just gave up 144 points at home. And then I think, a lot of what's been coming out of their locker room in Phoenix is, like, we got to control what we can control, and specifically that's on the defensive side. Problem here is, like I said, no Nurkic. He's their better, one of their best defenders. I think, if I had to play this one, it'd probably be Sacramento, probably be their team total over. But I just don't. Two teams that, to me, feel like they're in super desperation spots. Sacramento probably going to get smacked tomorrow against against Minnesota. So I think that they could win today. And not a lot of confidence in Phoenix, but I don't necessarily want to bet against Devin Booker and Kevin Durant because I could see them doing, absolutely amazing things against this defense. The last thing I'll mention on this game is I listened to the post-game interview from Coach Mike Brown. It was a 10-minute, he wasn't even upset about them losing 144, giving up 144 points to Boston the other day. He was just kind of like laughing, like, at some point in time, like, they're going to have to buy in because I can't keep getting mad and, calling timeouts and, like telling them they need to do this. Eventually, they're just going to buy in. And if they don't, we just won't be a good team. And he referenced, like, having LeBron James when he was in Cleveland, same type of sentiment where it was middle of the game and he was like, oh, hey, look, we getting killed on this pick and roll and this is the way we're supposed to be hedging it and the way you're supposed to be playing it. And he said LeBron ended up stepping up in that spot and saying, you know what? Like, nah, we're not about to ditch it. We're about to do it. So he says until, like, one of those guys step up, like, and now, of course, in that role is De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, until one of those guys step up and decide they want to do that and, like, they start to hold themselves accountable pretty much is what he was saying. Like, it's just going to be this same thing. And I don't think about Sabonis as a really good defender. I don't think about De'Aaron Fox he's a really good on-ball defender, but off-ball defender, he's not coming out helping out. Like, and you also got Kevin Huerter out there. He's not a good defender either. So if you're going to play the Kings, to me, and this is just moving forward in general. I think you got to look towards their team totals. Like that's the only way I think that I would be able to play them. I don't trust them enough laying points, even though they should be able to cover and win this one, especially being that, Phoenix is still, really, really bad. And they just without pieces that I think they need to win this game. So I say all that to say I do agree with the line movement. Both teams giving up, about 300 points in their last spot and coming off really bad losses. I can kind of see it going either way. Maybe you just look at player props. Maybe eventually Devin Booker says, you know what, I'm going to just take this on myself. They don't have anybody that can guard him. So he could absolutely feast in this spot. And same thing with Kevin Durant. They could get whatever it is that they want. I just don't think that them two specifically have enough around surrounding them right now. Grayson Allen has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. And then, like I said, no Nurkic tonight. And they just Watanabe. Like I'm not sure what's going on with Phoenix right now. So if I had to look, I would take Sacramento. I would take their team total over. I would also take them on the spread. I think they could win by 2 possessions, but defensively, man, they've just been really, really bad. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat on this one. Let's see. D Fox, De'Aaron Fox owns the Suns, is what Sid says. Navi says he likes Sacramento on the money line. That's probably a little steep, maybe like minus 160. Being that they're 3.5 point favorites is what I would guess. Let's see what that money line is. I'm not playing the money line, but don't let me talk you all. Minus 155 is the best number I see. So I was close. Minus 160 on BetMGM. Minus 155 on ESPN Bet actually has the best money line for the Kings at minus 155. If you stay up and watch this game, you could potentially make some live bets for sure as well. Shadow says, I think KD and Book could both go for 30. Absolutely. Devin Booker 30, Kevin Durant 30, De'Aaron Fox 30. I could see, if you want to put a little sprinkle on something like that, I could definitely see that as well. Vaughn says Mike Brown called a timeout. Boston called a good pick and roll play and scored. Keegan missed his rotation. He called another timeout. You only get for so many timeouts, though, Vaughn. I agree with you there. And then Troy comes in. He likes a bonus to go under, even though there is no Chimezi Metu is the guy that's going to be probably playing center tonight. Sabonis, he said Troy likes Sabonis under his 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 115 on bet 365 today. Okay. Real Stoney adding Kevin Love, one steal plus 120. Sid says the last game in Phoenix, Suns were up a big second half, but Kings walked them down second half. Suns struggled at finishing. That is absolute fact. They're one of the worst fourth quarter teams. I just looked at the numbers. I think it was yesterday. Everybody 30. Kings win. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Could definitely see that as well. All right, let's go to the last game on the board. We got Wizards and we got Warriors. I talked about yesterday, man, liking the, taking the Wizards, taking the Warriors, potentially their team total. I did not know that this total was going to open this high. Open at 248. You already see it come down. I do think that we should fade the Wizards in this spot on the second leg of a back-to-back. Of course, they had a really, really good win yesterday. We probably should have played them just because the Portland Trailblazers were laying points, but I couldn't quite get there. Draymond's still going to be out. Podziemski, however you pronounce his name, Brandon P is questionable with a back injury. That kind of makes me stay off of this team total, even though I do think that, pace-wise, this one could get up over the total. I just don't feel too confident, man. The Wizards have been pretty good recently at 8-1 to the over as 8-point dogs and as 10-point dogs or more to the over. Games going over by an average of 12 points. They're allowing 133 points in that spot. You need the Wizards. You need the Warriors to score 130 points in the spot. That's not a team total I'm typically wanting to play because while they can score, I don't know, man. Like that number kind of scares me a little bit. That's the only way I would play it, but the books are not giving us a discount at all here. Golden State, 7-6 straight up, just 2-8 against the spread as a home favorite this season. They've actually not covered, they've only covered one spread that was, I think, bigger than 3.5. And I want to say that was against the Brooklyn Nets the other day when they won by 4. So they won by half a point. So definitely not running to the window to bet, to bet on that team. Washington 3-14 on the road, straight up. However, they are 11-6 against the spread on the road. Those spreads have been a tad bit too big, and they've continued to cover them. They even won outright last night in Portland, is what I had written in my notes. So let's see what you guys think about this. So, of course, there's the revenge pool for Jordan Poole, the revenge game for Jordan Poole. I could care less about that. Jordan Poole, I don't care what the number is. This dude is like, I can't play Jordan Poole. Best of luck if you like him. Don't let me talk you off. I can't get there with Jordan Poole, though. He just looks like a shell of himself. He looks drunk every time I see him on the court. He's like crossing over, falling, slipping. Like, I just can't get there with Jordan Poole. Could he absolutely go crazy? Absolutely. Don't let me talk you off there. But this is the way I kind of see the game. I think watching the Wizards play, at least the last couple games, they really, really come out strong in the first half, right? Like if you see them play in the first quarter, first half, like it's Trey Jones, who's looked really, really, Tyus Jones, who's looked really, really good for them at point guard. Kyle Kuzma getting off to really good starts as well. It's Jordan Poole when he does play well. Corey Kispert, all of these, even Daniel Gafford had a monster double-double last night. I'm watching that game thinking like, damn, Daniel Gafford? Okay. They're coming out and getting really, really big, like strong advantages. They're covering first quarters and first halves. I feel like 12 is a little bit too much for Golden State to be laying specifically in the first half. I feel like the Wizards in the first half can keep this game close. The spread is big for a reason, even though we see the number coming down to 11.5. I feel like if Golden State gonna run out of gas, it's gonna be if the Wizards gonna run out of gas, it's gonna be in the second half in this spot. I think the numbers and how I've watched the Wizards kind of play is indicative, right? Like real quick, let me just go back and look at it because this is just all off of in my brain. I didn't really put any numbers to this, but I want to say I know that the Wizards have been covering in the first half because they keep getting these really big numbers. So if we go through and look at the Wizards' last few games against Portland. They were 4-point dogs in that game. They covered the first quarter, first half, and full game. Against Sacramento, while they did get out to that was also a second leg of a back-to-back, but I want to say they still covered the first quarter. I don't think they covered the first half because Sacramento ended up going up big, but they still end up covering that game as well because they were 14-point dogs. And then against Phoenix, they covered that first quarter, first half, and full game as well. They beat the Indiana Pacers first quarter, first half, and won that game outright. So I know that they could run out of gas in this spot. It's they did come off 2 days of rest because they didn't play on the 19th and the 20th. So I kind of feel like, this being a young team, I think first half is the play in this spot. I think 6 points is a tad bit too many in the first half. And if I had to play it, I think I would hold my nose and think that they'd be able to score enough points. You can get a 6.5 right now. I'm sorry, you can get a first half plus 7.5 on Bet Rivers right now for Golden State. I'm sorry, for Washington. I think that's the play in this game. Haven't gotten there yet. Maybe I'll, fire it off later, look a little more into it. And it was Wizards first half specifically. Plus, like I said, plus you can get them plus 7.5 on Bet Rivers for people who have access to Bet Rivers. But I take the 7 too. I just don't think Golden State. I don't think that could they blow them out? Absolutely. But I think that'll come in the second half. Because Wizards should run out of gas late in this one, is the way I kind of see the game. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. Also, Gafford, I think he could potentially have another big game as well. I know people are going to be on, Jackson Davis in this spot. I couldn't talk anybody off there. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Why would you go Sabonis under without Nurkic? I like his rebounds and assists over is what Shadow says. I could see that. Ski says do the right thing. The Lakers not. Oh, so you would Golden State tonight. Ski likes Golden State minus the points. It got to be. Do the right thing was hashtag but take the Lakers last year when we made a lot of money with the Lakers before they ended up they lost a lot of my money betting them against Denver in the Western Conference Finals, but Ski got to be on Golden State in this spot. Even if they cover Ski, I still think they could. 6.5 is a lot. 7.5, I think, is a lot in the first half. Bond says, don't know why, but Herder usage and shot attempts have been taking a nosedive. Might sprinkle on his threes at 1.5. Probably because he don't play any defense, Bond. Navi says pool party. It could be a pool party. I'm not there. Vaughn says he's like Metu in the Chesney Metu in the revenge game. Podzinski, that is right. Thank you, Stoney. Podzinski is how you pronounce Brandon's first name. Thank you, my brother. Podzinski is how you pronounce his name. He got like 47 letters in his name, so I always butcher it. But yeah, you're right. It's Podzinski. I gotta probably gonna have to write that down. First says Jordan Poole has had this game marked down on his calendar for months, bro. Yeah, I agree. Mikal Bridges had his marked down for months as well, and the world was on him. He didn't do anything. I just don't take those bets, man. But and Jordan Poole's not a guy I want to put my money on, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back. Could he absolutely go crazy? Absolutely. I can't do it. I'm not talking anybody off. Don't let me talk you off. Take what you absolutely love. Dante says Warriors don't need to be laying 11 points. Ski says he likes Warriors first quarter. Scotty says, yeah, Poshinski. Yeah, both of you guys got it right. Steve says Poole under. He probably chokes. So we got some opposite love here. Raptors fan says he's leaning Warriors first half minus the 6.5. I saw this late, Raptors, but I think I'd be on the opposite side. Ski says who's the imposter in the chat with his name because it was another Ski that showed up. How do we see all your picks, Goated? So Goated, when I make my plays, I send them out to my YouTube channel. They're all my membership is $5.99 a month, $5.99 a month, and it'll get you access to all my plays. And then I do share them on the show as well. I'm gonna get to when I get to the end, I go through the what I bet segment, and that'll give you all my plays after I break the games down. Let me see. Let's see. Sid says Poole is cheeks. Real Stoney says unclean cheeks. All right, we getting a little too far off topic, man. That's funny. Real Stoney says Warriors will defend him with intent. I agree. Steve says Poole turnovers. Poole over his turnovers. Maybe he's doing a little too much. I actually like this look a lot, Steve. That's one way to bet on Poole over his turnovers. Yeah, I'm writing that down on my short list. I like that a lot, Steve. Love that look a lot, Steve. Like that a lot. I'm not sure if my guy is in here or not, but I know somebody who cashes a lot of money on Jordan Poole to go over his turnovers. Could definitely see it a lot. Ski Roy says he's been Ski Roy since he was a kid. Ski. Oh man, Warriors aren't warranted to lay these type of points. I agree there, but they could run out of gas. I think the spread is big for a reason. Bond says Jackson Davis said in the press conference he couldn't wait to show the Wizards watch they're missing out on. I think is what he meant. They traded him on draft night. Yeah, I did see that narrative as well. Andres likes Wizards team total over 117.5. Let's see what else. I probably will do a show tomorrow, Navi. It'll be an early show. It might be even a night show as well. A night show. But I will be doing a show tomorrow. I got a lot going on tomorrow. A lot going on tomorrow. I might actually not be able to watch the games, but yeah, we'll see. S. Dot says half a unit, 0.5. Poole might make a Shaq and a Fool nomination tonight. I absolutely agree there as well. Magic Charles disagrees. He says, you're in here doing a lot, laugh out loud. Jordan Poole going Gucci tonight. So he thinks Jordan Poole has a big night tonight. All right, so let's get to what I bet. Here's the plays that I bet tonight. I bet let me just get to my notes because I actually didn't type these in yet. If you guys got looks you want to share, shoot them to me. Let me know. Send me a request on Twitter. I'll get up a few people real quick, but we're going to make this pretty quick tonight. This is what I bet, though. I bet, and I gave all 4 of these plays out early this morning, probably about 2 a.m. So the lines have moved a little bit, but I bet Philly in the first half. Like I said, they've been absolute juggernauts. This is a spot we just bet them in the other day. And I think Toronto being extremely inconsistent, especially on their first leg, first road game after 4 straight home games, typically like the fade teams in that spot. So yeah, I bet Philly first half minus the 4.5. I also bet Jokic over his rebounds. He absolutely owns this team on the rebounds, 14, 17, and 20 in the last 3 matchups. So I bet him at 12.5 at minus 105 on ESPN Bet. I Also bet the under 220. Oh, I think I put 228. I bet the 226.5. I'm sorry if you guys saw that. When I capped it, it was at 228.5. By the time I put the number in, it had already moved down last night on DraftKings, had the best number. At 226.5, I did play the full game under, and I took Dallas team total under 109.5. The number is now down to 107.5, and I still like it there as well. Like I said, Houston, off 3 straight losses, I don't think that they'll overlook this Dallas team, even though they are on the first leg of a back-to-back. And I also love that they play so slow, right? You got to love a team that plays slow if you want to take the opposing team under. So I did play. Those are the 4 looks that I like. I didn't mention this one, but I think Clay could be worth a play in this spot. I just think about, Steph not having to do everything by himself. Clay has been absolutely on a heater. I think his points prop opened to like 21.5. I may end up getting there with Clay as well, putting a little couple dollars on Clay in this spot. I think Clay could absolutely eat in this spot. We know that the Wizards give up a bunch. The Wizards give up a bunch of points to pretty much every position. But I think Clay could have a big game. He's absolutely been killing this points prop. I want to say he's over in like 4 straight games. He's been shooting at least 15, 16 shots. And, majority of those going to be threes. And the Wizards, second leg of a back-to-back, having to travel. I know it's only about an hour and a half flight, 2 hours flight from Portland to Golden State, but I think it could be another big, big game for Clay in this spot tonight. So those are the top looks that I like. Didn't get there on Clay yet. And what did we also mention? I think it might have been Tyler Hero. Very, very advantageous matchup for Tyler Hero tonight as well. So those, I'm gonna type those in right now for the people who are watching on Twitter, watching on YouTube. But let me get to the chat real quick. Let's get some of the guys up. Let's go Finesse. Let's get Cam up, and let's get Dream up as well. And then we'll depending on how much time we got left after my guys go, we'll see who else have some stuff that they want to chime in on. Let's go. I just saw it in this order, so we'll go that way. Let's go Finesse. Finesse, what's going on, my brother? Talk to me. Happy holidays to you. I'm good, man. Talk to me. What's going on? How you?
I'm glad to be up here finally caught on time. But yeah, bro, short little slate. I'm trying to keep it kind of concise today, so I just run through what I got so far. So the bonus over 12.5 rebounds. Me personally, I hate that rebound props, but I just think it's way too good of a spot. Just quarter 17 rebounds, 29 rebound chances versus Phoenix. That was like 2 weeks ago. Now, obviously, no Nurkic. I would assume Phoenix plays, Eubanks a ton, I would guess. At the 5, maybe run some small ball every now and then. And I like that for 2 reasons. Obviously, Eubanks is absolute barbecue chicken down low, just doesn't have the size physicality to match up with Sabonis. And Eubanks not really a scoring big, so, leaves Sabonis kind of more free in the paint instead of, having to defend shots. Sabonis has covered this 12.5 number 6 his last 9. Get 24 rebound chances in that span, converting nearly 60% of those chances. With that kind of conversion rate, we're just looking for, around 22 chances tonight, and that'll cover the 13 plus. He's also reported 13 plus in 5 out of his last 7 road games. Phoenix, 7th most rebounds to centers over the last 7 games. And like I said before, obviously no Nurkic, so close spread should be a fast-paced kind of game. Expecting a pretty good game script and play a lot of minutes. I just rack up the rebounds. I wanted to ladder, but wasn't enough value. But yeah, I think he eats. I think he gets 15 plus. I think it's on the table. So I got 2 plays in the Mavs Rockets game. So I like Hardaway over 21.5 points. I also took the 30 plus at plus 390. Somebody got to score. You know what I'm saying? I would assume they're gonna put Dylan Brooks on him, but it's not a one-on-one, black top type of thing. It's easy to kind of hunt your matchups, work off of action, work off of screen. So he's a guy, no matter who's playing, he's gonna get up his shots. He's gonna get up his threes, get up his value. So now with obviously all the injuries on the Dallas side, I'm expecting 18 plus shots. 18 to 22 shots. Obviously, the 3-point value. Hopefully, he gets the free throw line a couple times. And yeah, I think he can go crazy. Like I said, somebody has to score. Obviously, Jada Hardy is pretty interested tonight. I'm not seeing any props for him as of yet. I may be wrong, but last time I looked, I didn't see any props for him yet.
They're gonna put them out. They're gonna put them out Finesse with like 2 minutes before the game starts. You know how that go.
Which kind of scares me. releasing. But yeah, I think even with pretty good volume tonight, but yeah, I love Hardaway. He's a guy that doesn't always play winning basketball. You know what I'm saying? He just be chugging it, and that's what I love. Obviously, taking points props. So value and opportunity is all I really look for the cap. And I think he gets that tonight. So, and on the other side, Alperen Sengun, on 10. It's just another spot. I mean, Dallas is getting eaten a lot by centers. He's a little bit weird. He's not always going to get, lead value or anything like that. But I think this is Dwight Powell's going to start soon. I don't know if the lineups are already dropped, but I assume it's going to be Dwight Powell, and that's a guy that, he can block a couple shots, but I don't, Sengun can work you from the mid range, very crafty on the inside. So I think he gets to the free throw line a bunch. And yeah, they just have really, in my opinion, have nobody to match up with Sengun. So I also play Hardaway and Sengun 25 plus each at plus 625. So I like that. Last little thing, just a builder. Not everybody like this. Doing these a lot, making a lot of money off them, so I'm sticking with it. Pretty simple. Tobias Harris and Spencer Dinwiddie, 10 plus points each. Jamal Murray and Bogdanovich, Hawks, 2 plus made threes each. So that's plus 108 on FanDuel. Like that as a little build, a little 1 unit shot. So yeah, that's it. Hardaway points, Sengun points, Sabonis over 12.5 rebounds, that little builder. Oh, one more thing too. A little what's my man Dream? Is my man Dream up here? My man Dream up here. So little blunt money, Christmas debt, credit card paying, little bit late right here. Double shot. Devin Booker, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, 4-3 for a double. It's plus 1420 on DraftKings. I think all three of those guys are in great spots. So a little bit of a long shot. I won't, dig too much into it. But yeah, that's all I got, bro. Hopefully I'm up here again before Christmas. But if I'm not, happy holidays to everybody, shit like that. And everybody good luck tonight, Chris. I appreciate you as always.
Absolutely, my brother. Appreciate you as well, Finesse. I like that. I like all the looks. They make a lot of sense to me as well. So definitely happy holidays to you and the missus, Finesse. Hope you guys enjoy it, man. Appreciate you for tapping in. All right, let's keep going. Let's go Dream and then Cam, I think. And then I got Ski in the building too. And we'll get to Godspeed as well. And then we'll probably wrap up. So let's go Dream and then Cam, then Godspeed, then go Ski. What's up, Dream?
What's the vibes, my guy?
What up, bro? I'm good, man. How you?
Can't complain, man. Getting over this cold, feeling better.
Me too, bro. I meant to ask you about that, Jay. I'm glad you're feeling better, bro. I'm actually feeling a little bit better too. Was able to, kind of get back to my normal self today, so that feels good, man.
Yeah, I was in the sleep though. Like I fell asleep, woke up, and that space ended. I'm like, oh shit, but yeah, shout out to Finesse. I'm definitely telling that double look, loving that. It's funny. I'm gonna kind of be on some finesse shit. I'm gonna give y'all blow money bet, but I'm gonna kind of give y'all more like information and like spots and shit. Just because I don't know, just because I think that's what's more important today.
Okay.
And I give out a bunch of blow money bets. I'm waiting for spots. But first off, I want to talk about Claxton since you mentioned him already.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like Nick Claxton today over 10.5 points. That's a straight bet I took. He had 17 last game. I'm sorry, he had 10 last game in 17 minutes versus Jokic. And he was in foul trouble. But he generally does well against Jokic. Last year, he had 20 in 28 minutes and 19 in 31 minutes. So it was a back-to-back. He also was in foul trouble. So hopefully he's not in foul trouble in a game that's kind of close. Just keep it kind of close. And I think he should breeze over his 10 points. So a blood money bet with that would be Claxton, 15 points, and Spencer Dinwiddie, 10 assists. That would be plus 1308. Spencer Dinwiddie, he had 8 assists last time these teams played, and it was in short minutes in a blowout, and he still had 8 assists. Last year, he had 16 and 11 assists against Denver. So, if somebody mentioned Day'Ron Sharpe, I'm with that. Maybe the 8 rebounds at plus 300 on DraftKings. But if you wanted to, just like a blowout proof guy, like for me, I'm heavy on Claxton today. And on my stream, I was heavy on Claxton today. So I definitely told people to take Sharpe. just in case Claxton get in foul trouble or if it's a blowout, because he will play. So, yeah, I like Sharp. As far as like information and lines that I'm kind of waiting to find a way to play, Clint Capella. So I'm looking at his last, I don't know, 30 games, who knows, versus Bam. But I'll just start. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So his last 9 games versus Bam, 14, 7. Well, basically he got double-digit rebounds in all of them except for 2. So he's got double-digit rebounds in 7 of his last 9 games versus Bam. Doing that information as you please, but I think it's a good matchup for him tonight. And I'm waiting for a couple of lines to drop on a couple guys. So. And I'll tell you guys why. Hardy was already mentioned. Definitely Tim Hardaway, but I think Hardy will probably get second or third most shots on the team. So Hardy for Denver. But this guy Mintu from Phoenix, Chisman Mintu, is a backup.
Chimezi Metu.
What's his name?
Chimezi Metu. Chimezi Metu.
Yeah, I'm waiting on his lines to drop. I'm hoping that we get some points and threes and rebounds and steals. So basically, he's only had 3 games this season where he's played 20 plus minutes. I think he's in line for that tonight. Last time, one of those games that he played 3 games this season was against Sacramento, and he had what you would say is a good game. But in the 3 games that he's played 20 plus minutes this year, he's had 10, 14, and 8. He's had 2 threes, 3 threes, 0 threes. 4, 5, and 4 rebounds, and 2, 2, and 1 steals. So I'm just anxious to see where his lines open up at. He may be able to like get some free money with his points. Maybe his points open at like 6.5, something like that. And last but not least, the backup center for Golden State. Shout out to the homie KC.
Trace Davis.
Yeah, man. You got to look toward his. For blood money, it's definitely his rebounds ladder. I know he's coming off a double-double game. Maybe he's had 2 straight strong games, but I believe the backup center for Washington, first of all, the starting center is already fooled Gafford.
Mm-hmm.
The backup center is Gallinari.
It is. He got rolled out. He rested. Yeah.
He's out. So in the game that we project to be a blowout, it could be a pool 40 today. But in a game that projects to be a blowout, with no backup center at all that I can think of, you would think Trace, whatever his name, Ellis Davis, I don't know, but Trace, the backup center for Golden State, you would think he'd be in line for maybe some good numbers. Either him or Sarek, but I'm going to invest in him when his numbers drop, when the Trace numbers drop. So maybe you can get this double at something crazy. But I'll definitely be looking at his rebounds and possibly playing this double. So that was a whole bunch of shit. But as far as official, I put Claxton over his points, and I give y'all blood money back. Claxton, 15 points, and Dinwiddie, 10 assists. But just some other guys I'm waiting for lines for. Mintu, the backup center from Phoenix, and this guy, this backup center from Golden State, Trace Davis.
Trace Davis, okay.
Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, all really good insight, Dream. I appreciate you for sharing all that, bro. Definitely really good insight. Y'all check Dream out if y'all haven't already, man. I always shout out Dream. Definitely still undervalued in my opinion. Undervalued capper. Big love to Dream. Happy holidays, bro. Glad you're feeling better. Also, Dream, forgot to mention Mike Muscala also played backup center for Washington as well. I'd be forgetting about Mike Muscala, but yeah, he probably get a little run too. He played 14 minutes last night, scored 5 points in Portland, and without Gallinari in, he probably get a little more minutes tonight too. So, big love to Dream. All right, let's keep going. We got Godspeed, then we got Ski. Cam, my fault. I skipped over Cam. Cam, what's going on? Then we go Godspeed and Ski. What's up, Cam?
What's good? How's everybody doing?
Good, bro. Hey, I appreciate the dono, man. What's going on? How you? It's definitely a job, man. I appreciate you for shouting that out for sure.
Gives me something to do every day, something to look forward to. Speak and just count it. To be to just you right there. Just get the show right. So it's step and these dudes up. So it's cool. It's all the show. So some love when you can.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way about the guys that I look up to, man. Same thing. One of them a couple of them in the space right now. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that for sure.
But And we love him on the side, but it's like 21 over 21 points. He's going the last 3 games against this Philly team. It's like 24, 24, 29 with his last games against Philly. And if you look at what he's been doing recently, his usage is back up. Like realistically, if you watch that last game, he just stopped getting shots. He was killing it too. So he had 30 points last game, 22, 23, 27, 20, 31. Just to go back a few weeks. So 21 just felt like a nice number for me tonight. Somebody around Scotty, looking at it. And again, I think the usage is going right on the wall what this team is and who this team belongs to. Next one is you spoke about it quite a bit. Houston spread, because like so I've been telling myself not to get too afraid of some of these like spreads as we're seeing they're big for a reason. Teams are going through them. But what I the game to spoke on was the team total over the team for the Rockets. Atlanta's allowing 122 point season. Not only Dallas is allowing 117 on the season, which is just around that number. And realistically, without Lively, that number is a lot higher. So I want to do the spread. I got this big like Jaden Hardy hitting like a 3 for no reason and covering a large spread. So and my last play is kind of hero, which you spoke about. A little juice, but it's also for me. It just feels like pretty my favorite look of the night. So I was like, that's fine. I'll take that. 15, 20 shots tonight. That's how his field goal percent crazy this year. So you have to respect the dude who gets paid and done trade rumors and comes back and then doesn't solve. It's just showing everybody why he deserves the money. So 24 and a half Tyler. So those are my 3 plays. Scotty Barnes, 21 and a half points. Tyler 24 and a half. And team total over for Houston 115.
Okay.
Everybody happy holidays to the squad.
Absolutely, Ken. Right back at you, bro. Right back at you. Appreciate you for sure as well. Before I go to Godspeed, I want to just say this real quick. Scotty in the YouTube comment section, and this is something that I heard the other day, didn't notice until they were in the national televised game the other day. The Wizards were playing against, the Warriors were playing against the Celtics. And I heard Reggie Miller say this. So Trace Jackson Davis is actually Dale Davis' son. But for people who watch the NBA in the 90s, like myself, you remember Dale Davis. I remember him as a kid being from playing with the Pacers. He was on that team with Reggie Miller, with Jalen Rose. Like they had I think what's the point guard name? I can't think of his name. But yeah. So Jamal Tinsley definitely was on that team. Mark Jackson, so Trace Jackson dad is Dale Davis, dark-skinned Dale Davis with the low haircut for people who remember. So that clearly he's a lot lighter than his dad. So probably different mom, nationality, not black, but yeah, he got some black in him. So yeah, black kid. But I wanted to mention that because I'm glad Rick Smith was on that team, definitely 3 times. So we got some older guys in here that remember that, man. But let's keep going. Let's get through rest of the speakers. We got Godspeed and we still got say the best for last, man. I got Ski up as well. What up, Godspeed? Talk to me, man.
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm looking at this injury news. So real quick, D'Anthony Milton listed as out for tonight. Patrick Beverley also just got downgraded to out. Kelly Oubre is in that starting lineup. Tobias Harris, Morris is actually in, so that's a blow to that starting lineup, to that bench. Because you got a lot of those starters in the first, so we'll see how that first half goes now. But I still kind of like it. We'll see how it goes. Donovan Mitchell is listed as out for tomorrow. Josh Giddey also listed as out. Donovan Mitchell must have had the flu. I thought he had the sniffles. He missed 3 games with his illness. So yeah, just kind of passing along information real quick so people will know. What's up, Godspeed? Talk to me. What we liking tonight?
With 24, we put him at 25, 5-17 shooting. CJ McCollum, he was due for some regression. Shot 2 for 8 for 3. Brook Lopez Lopez finished with 2 blocks, but we did cash on James Harden 3 threes and Bucks money line.
Okay.
Sell 3 threes and Anthony Simons 25 points.
Okay.
But on to today, I'm gonna start with a long shot, super long shot, plus 12K odds. Now I did take all of these lines straight. All of these guys lines straight for their assists. We gonna get straight to it, man. Joel Embiid triple double, straight to the point. This is a Toronto Raptors team. Despite having Nick Nurse on the other side, they still play that weird defense where they try to take away your primary scorer. There's no taking away Joel Embiid at all. But in the first 2 games, or in 2 games that he's seen them this season, he did have 7 and 8 assists. I do think they're going to try to contain him, but they're not. So I do like Joel Embiid assists at 5.5. I took that as a straight. And then Nikola Jokic triple double, self-explanatory, man. He owns Nick Claxton. He gonna rebound like you said. His assists, he's had 4 straight triple doubles versus the Nets. It's Nikola Jokic, y'all know what's up. And last but not least, Domantas Sabonis. In the last 3 games, he's had 8, 12, and 8 assists. He's had 8 plus assists in I want to say 8 out of the last 10 home games. Y'all know the Sacramento team turn up at home. So I like Domantas Sabonis. Like I said, the rebounds should be there as well. Finesse touched on that. And I think all 3 of those guys flirt with a triple-double. So I took the 12K in round robin at 2s. I put 0.3 on the round robin and 0.1 on the actual parlay. I also took their 8 assists. And it was like plus, I want to say like 850 or something like that. And I just put 0.6 on that to risk 1 total unit over that lotto. A couple straights that I like for the day is Trae Young over 3.5 3-pointers made. Trae Young is turning up, bro. Like, we know Trae Young, he really loves that villain image. When you look at his props or his stats, at home versus on the road, he plays way better on the road. I think he's like takes that image and still just running with it. He's covered that 3.5 3-pointer line in 8 out of the last 10 road games, averaging 4.8 3-pointers made. He's averaging 2.8 at home versus 4 at home the entire season. He's getting up about 11 attempts, which is more than enough volume, and the Heat. They still getting it up, man. They 5th most in 3-pointers made to point guards. And I can't talk you off his points either. He's attempting 24 shots a game over the last 10. That volume is crazy. I don't know if I gave it out in your spaces or another spaces, but we took him last Friday or last Saturday. I took and laddered Trae Young with Steph Curry points, and they were both able to get up to 35, almost a max cash of 40-40. But I say that because my next player is Stephen Curry over 4.5 3-pointers made. At home, it's like a system play for me at this point. When you look at Steph Curry and the Warriors, for years they played better at home versus on the road. He's had 5 3-pointers made in 7 out of the last 10 games. He's averaging 5 3-pointers made at home, and that's what we need him for. He's also averaging 11 attempts. He had 6 versus Washington last season, and the game before that, it was 2021 though. He had 7 3-pointers made, and one of the games before that, he had 6. So he constantly owns this Washington Wizards team. They don't play defense at all. And the Wizards, they allow the 8th most 3-pointers made to the point guard position. So just to give y'all the straights, this is my entire card. Embiid over 5.5 assists, Jokic triple-double, or his 10-plus assists, whichever one is higher because he's going to get the rebounds. And Sabonis over 7.5 assists, and Trae threes, and Steph Curry threes. That's what I have. Hopefully we go 5-0 tonight. And happy holidays to everybody. And if I don't talk to y'all before the holidays, appreciate you, Chris. Appreciate all that you do for the community. Let's have a night, bro.
Absolutely. Right back at you, Godspeed. Hey, Godspeed, real quick before you dip out, and happy holidays to you and the family as well, bro. What you played trade, you said it's 3s, right?
Yeah, I played 3.5.
3.5.
I got it on ESPN bet at -115.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, I was looking into them a little bit while you were talking. Okay, hey, best of luck, bro. I hope you cash all of them. Go 5-0, one time for the one time. Let's go back to Cam real quick because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be quick, and then we'll go to Ski and we'll wrap up. What's up, Cam?
His points set 14.
Mm-hmm.
Basically against the Raptors, that's Kate. 23-18, 23-17 in the games where he's played 30 minutes or more in the last four, and he averages double figures whenever he plays more than 30 minutes. So, just saying, what's his points from? Because he's going to go tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree. I like that a lot, especially with him being in that starting rotation now. This is why sometimes we do the show. We do, you kind of got to wait until the last second. But let's get to Ski, man. What's up, Ski? Ski ain't been on the show, I don't think, but maybe once or twice all year. What up, Ski?
Yo, what up, Chris? How you got going, bro?
Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Hey, for y'all that don't know, Ski got a show he do on YouTube as well throughout the day. Just giving out looks, sharing plays. He sell plays, but he give all his looks out, most of all his looks out for free when he does his show. So definitely shoot Ski a follow if you guys aren't already. Tap in with Ski. What's going on, Ski? What you liking today, man?
I appreciate that. And you did a good job breaking down the game. You was talking about for one, I just wanted to clear up. I'm not on the Warriors. I like the Wizards.
Okay.
And you were talking about taking them first half. I just wanted to give a couple reasons why it might not be good. I mean, it might not, be bad to also take them full game.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the back-to-back for one because they had 2 days off before yesterday's game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a young team. It's not a bunch of old guys.
That's a fact. Okay.
Looking at the Warriors, I mean, who are they to be laying this kind of a number? They won by this margin one time all season, and that was way back in October. They're coming off an overtime game. And they're on the front end of a back-to-back. So I just don't think it's an ideal spot for them to lay this kind of number. And even if they are up by margin, they can sit their stars in the game and save their energy for tomorrow. And on the flip side, I just see Washington playing hard to the buzzer. And that'll help us in case we need it for a backdoor cover. So I think Washington full game is also a good look.
Damn, Ski, bro, I had not thought about that. Did you look at that, Ski? Did you put that in like SDQL?
Nah. Well, I do got something for SDQL, but I mean, it's a spot where you kind of, I mean, the way I thought about it was, I like playing on bad teams off of a win in general, and I don't think we got to worry about it. Like the SDQL spot, I can't say it just because, like you said, I sell plays and unfair for me to give it out to everybody, but it's backing up what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot. I had, what I forgot, Ski? I actually forgot. I've been doing a pretty good job of remembering like the overtime games. I forgot that the Warriors had to exert so much energy to come back in that game and beat Boston the other day. I totally forgot about that. So I'm thinking previous overtime and next rest equals 0, of course. That is and you land, double digits in this spot. That makes a lot of sense. And probably why that number's coming down to 12. And if they win this game by 7 or 8, I think they'd be just as happy. I don't think they're trying to run anybody. Matter of fact, Steph said it after the game the other day. He said he's trying to, string wins together right now, whether they're ugly or not. So yeah, 12 was definitely too big, and the Warriors haven't been covering that number anyway. So I like this. I'm probably gonna get with you on the Warriors in this spot. I need another play for tonight, especially since I made all mine. I feel like yesterday because I had fell asleep since I made them. So makes a lot of sense. Ski like that a lot. Ski's on the Wizards in this spot plus 12. When you said do the right thing, Ski, I thought that means take the Lakers or take the Warriors.
Two teams that we made a lot of money with previous seasons and in the playoffs, but I just kind of say that when I feel strongly about a game.
Okay, no, for sure. Okay, yeah, I thought that's what I correlated those two, but okay, all right. So Ski likes the, like I said, he likes the
Lakers too. I ain't gonna hold
you. You thought it was the Lakers today? I knew I wasn't tripping, bro. But Ski, if you've been following Ski for a couple of years, man, Ski used to make a lot of money with the Warriors too. I remember him saying a lot of times, man, this line's 8.5, Warriors win by double digits at home. You know, they covered margins. Like I done heard that plenty of times. So I thought it was Warriors. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. What up? What up, Finesse?
Yeah, real quick, just to add to that Uber shit. His threes are 1.5, 2 at -110 on almost across the board. So
Oh wow.
He's been shooting super well as a late from three, but I think that's another great look. His points I love, but his threes too. I just played that, so I figured I'd let you know. Just put that out there too.
1.5 threes for Kelly Oubre in the starting lineup with Joel Embiid having 7 and 8, with having 7, 8 and assists the last couple games. Oh wow.
And the 3+ is like 275, I think. So I'm gonna take that shit too.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely worth the sprinkle. These not, not anything too big, but yeah. I mean, Oubre can hit 5 threes, and we cashed on Oubre. We cashed on his ladder earlier this season. Now he's kind of played himself back into form after, the whole incident that he was going through with the rib injury. So that makes a lot of sense. Dream, did you have something you wanted to add to that as well?
Just real quick, it's a Bible clip going around from Oubre last game. He was in the corner, dead open for 3. Just like he's open, asking for the ball. Embiid is at the free throw line, jab stepping for 10 seconds.
I remember that.
I was thinking, Oubre runs down the floor before Embiid even shoots the ball. Like, I'm not getting the ball. He runs down the floor. Embiid still got the ball, jab stepping, and then turns and makes the shots. So yeah, that might actually be a good reason. I think maybe Joel actually look for his shooters in the corners.
Yeah, you know what? And I like the way he responded from that, because I saw the whole bunch of jab steps in Rudy Gobert face a whole bunch of times throughout the game. I don't think I seen that exact play, Dream. But what I did see was post game. I know I do a lot of reading. Post game, I did see that Kelly Oubre doubled down on Embiid and said that he was the greatest scorer that the league has ever seen. So he loves playing with Joel Embiid. He said, of course, he's biased, but he's the greatest scorer. I'm not saying I agree with it, but he's saying that he's the greatest scorer that he's ever seen and that he's ever played with. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more of a reason. I love how we just kind of like live cap that, from Cam mentioning it to Finesse talking about the threes, him being in the starting lineup. Definitely gonna get the. He said that Joel Embiid was the most. Don't quote me. I don't know if he said best, greatest, but one of those like big words. He said that Joel Embiid was his. He said, yeah, I'm biased, but he's the greatest scorer we've ever seen. And I mean, I'm not going to agree with him, but I understand what he's saying. But I said he's still recovering, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add that as well. I'm gonna ride with y'all on that. I'm gonna take the threes over the points too, because if Cam, I know you know what y'all 3-point defense is like. I mean, really just gonna take Joel Embiid to draw 2, and you still got Maxey out there to find him as well. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a fact. Okay, all right. I think we did a hell of a job covering the card for today, man. Real quick, let me just see if I can find. I know Finesse gave it out. Let me just see if I can find. The best number for people that's still watching the show. The least I can do for y'all that's still tapped in. We've been on here for a minute. Kelly Oubre, best number for his threes are. Oh damn! Look like they took it down. You still see it, Finesse? I think it's gone.
Yeah, 115 on FanDuel right now. -115 on.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, so -115 on. I'm sorry. I see it now because it's added at the bottom. Over 1.5 at -108 on Bet Rivers right now is the best number for Kelly Oubre threes. So I mean, even at 115, you're not laying too much juice. But yeah, I think it's definitely a potential ladder spot for Kelly Oubre. So I'll go small on it, but I'm gonna go Kelly Oubre threes as well. With the gang, man. I think it's a really good spot for him as well. And then just to kind of recap, it's a couple spots that I'm still going to look into. Probably gonna get there with Ski on the +12 for the Wizards tonight. But I think I'm gonna play that first half as well, plus the 7.5. So maybe I'll split a unit there. I also like, and this is why I like doing the show. I also really want to get there with Poole over his turnovers. I know Steve mentioned it earlier, but I think Poole gonna be pressing the issue. Second leg of a back-to-back, back in his hometown. The Warriors not gonna just come out there and let him do what he wants to do. So I think they're gonna, try to do their best to really lock him up as well. And I think, all he's really gonna take is impressing, and he's gonna go over those turnovers. So those are the other looks that I'm looking at. I was actually looking into, last thing I'll say before I close out, I was actually looking into fading Trae Young. Yeah, I know I like to take an under every now and then. And the under in this spot would be, I mentioned that Atlanta, and this is something that I'm gonna start taking a one player per day to go under their prop when I'm looking at them in this really bad spot. So 6 game in 10 days. And this is the spot for Trae Young. I mean, he's been playing a lot of minutes. I'm looking at his game log versus Miami specifically. I know he's been hot recently, but versus Miami specifically, he has not gone over his points, rebounds, and assists. And it looks like the last 6 games. So he has 22 and 12 with only with 5 rebounds. That's not over. 24 and 8 with 10 turnovers. That's not over. 8 points and 10 rebounds. 8 points and 10 assists with 4. That's not over. 25-7 and 27-11 2. So I think Trae Young could be a tad bit too inflated tonight. And I kind of lean towards under. I'm not making 13 plays tonight though, and I already got 4 in. If I add anything, it'll be 2, and it'll probably be Wizards, and it's probably going to be Jordan, probably Kelly Oubre. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit more insight because a lot of the times I don't make these plays and they still end up cashing. So best of luck with whatever you end up playing. All my plays, like I said, are posted at the bottom. If you guys want access, $5.99 a month over on YouTube. And like I said, I'm probably going to look at the card for tomorrow and try to get ahead of these lines, especially since we know guys are already ruled out for tomorrow. That way I can have a whole day to myself tomorrow, and you guys can go back and watch the show. So we'll see how it goes, man. Best of luck. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button for me on your way out. It would be greatly appreciated. Happy holidays to everybody. And happy holidays to, oh, hold on. That's Ski. He made the Rolling Stone. Okay, yeah. Now, best of luck. Yeah, I would play Jokic rebounds at 13.5 as well, even though I got the line at 13.5, at 12.5. I would play his rebounds at 13.5 as well. Just answer some questions real quick. But best of luck tonight, man. I hope everybody cashes, make more money than you lose. We'll be back tomorrow to do this thing all over again, man. I'm out.